Hi. Welcome to BR Film Recap. Today we will show you a family comedy film called Click. Grant us a favor by leaving a like and subscribe to us for more video like this. Thank you. Michael Newman is a hard-working architect who is married to his longtime sweetheart, Donna, with 2 children, Ben and Samantha. Michael is easily pushed around by his overbearing boss, Mr. Ammer. On numerous occasions, Michael willingly sacrifices time with his family to work so he can give them the kinds of possessions he never had. While going in search of a universal remote control at the retail store Bed Bath & Beyond, Michael falls onto a bed and then proceeds to the section marked Beyond. There, he befriends a mysterious man named Morty, who gives him a universal remote control and warns that it can never be returned. To Michael's amazement, he finds that this remote can actually control the universe, particularly time. At first, Michael uses the remote to have fun, but then starts to use it for his benefit, including to interpret for foreign clients or revisit events in his life, including a time in his childhood. We learn that, during a family vacation in New Hampshire, the other kids had declined his invitation in favor of another family who had more compared to his family, giving the audience an insight into Michael's adult nature. However, Michael also uses the remote to skip quarrels with Donna, to avoid suffering a cold by skipping to the point at which he recovers, and to skip a family dinner in order to finish an important project. Later, Morty reveals that when Michael fast-forwards through time, his body is on autopilot. While his mind skips ahead, his body goes through the motions of everyday life. After Mr. Ammer promises Michael a partnership, Michael decides to skip ahead to it, but ends up skipping a year of his life. Michael also finds out that he is in marriage counseling. His children prefer to watch CSI instead of Dragon Tales, and he missed the death of his dog. Then the plot takes a turn. The remote begins fast-forwarding on its own. Morty explains that the remote programs itself according to Michael's previous commands. Michael's various attempts to dispose of or destroy the remote fail, so he resolves to change his life so that the remote can no longer control him. The next day, Mr. Ammer tells Michael he is retiring and suggests that one day Michael may end up CEO. Momentarily forgetting his plan to outfox the remote, Michael says he would like to end up CEO. The remote reacts accordingly and fast-forwards to 2017. Michael is now the CEO of the company with all the material wealth he had wished for. However, he also suffers from being obese due to overeating while on autopilot. His daughter and son are now teenagers. His daughter dresses inappropriately. His son suffers from being overweight. He and Donna are now divorced. Michael lives in a separate residence, and they all resent his presence. Michael also discovers that Donna is now dating Ben's childhood swim coach, Bill. While visiting his old house, Michael fights with Ben, Donna, and Bill, and the new family dog pounces on him, causing him to fall and hit his head on a brick wall, knocking him unconscious. Having learned from Michael when he skipped his cold, the remote transports him 6 years into the future. Donna recounts how a precautionary CAT scan after Michael's fall revealed cancer, and how he ate so prolifically during chemotherapy as to subsequently suffer from a heart attack. Now, at the end of those 6 years, Michael is no longer obese, Donna has married Bill, and Ben has gone into his father's line of work. Michael is devastated when Ben tells him his father Ted has died, and Michael, while visiting his father's tomb, tries to use the remote to go to the moment when Ted was on his deathbed. But Morty shows up to say the remote only works for times and places where Michael had been present. So Michael uses the remote to take him to the point when he last saw Ted alive, which is when Ted made an impromptu visit to his son's and grandson's office. He sees that, while on autopilot, he had rejected his father's offer for a night out with him. Heartbroken, Ted had said, "I love you, son," and walked away with Ben. Morty reveals he is in fact the angel of death. Upset with his life, Michael begs to go to a good place, and fast-forwards to Ben's wedding in 2029. There, he witnesses Samantha call Bill dad, and the shock triggers a second heart attack. When Michael awakens, Morty appears and tells him that he has chosen his path and is powerless to do anything about it. Michael's family arrives, and Ben reveals that he has canceled his honeymoon in order to work on an important deal that will keep his business going. Not wanting Ben to make the same mistakes he did, Michael rushes after him. A nurse attempts to stop him, but Michael manages to get away and ignores Morty's repeated warnings that he will die unless he goes back to the hospital, saying he must get in his last words to his family. Michael reaches his family and collapses, but manages to convince Ben that family must come first. He reassures the others that he still loves them, and Morty approaches to take him. There is a white flash, and Michael wakes up in the bed onto which he had collapsed at Bed Bath & Beyond, convinced that the events have all been a dream. A reformed Michael offers his friendship towards the store's lonely retail associate, then goes to his parents' house and tells them that they are always welcome at his home. Then Michael goes home, where he reassures Donna, Ben, and Samantha of his affection for them, agreeing to help the family with their plans for a camping trip, and saying that he will never again neglect them. As he celebrates being home, Michael finds the remote and a note sitting on his kitchen counter. He realizes his experience was not a dream but a warning. The note is from Morty. It says, "Good guys need a break," and that he knows Michael will do the right thing this time. Michael thanks Morty but then disposes of the remote in the trash bin, and goes to enjoy the company of his family.